flexible, who's kind, who's chill, who's not a problem, who doesn't make us jump through a bunch of hoops, who doesn't put a bunch of standards on us, who doesn't put a bunch of expectations on us. That's it. If you do that and you're decent looking, you can get a guy in 30 seconds. It's so easy. Women complicate everything. So, the other thing we don't want, or I'll say, now that I've said what we do want, what don't we want? We don't want a woman who has high mileage. We don't want a woman who's been around, who slept around, who has a high body count. Period. We don't want that. We never wanted that. Here's the thing. Here's where women get confused. Is they go, "Oh, you don't want to date a guy, or excuse me, you don't want to date a woman or love a woman who has a high body count, but you'll sleep with a woman at the drop of a hat." And then they act like that's some kind of problem. No, that's not a problem. Yes, men will sleep with a woman quickly, and they don't want to date that woman. That makes total sense. Is there hypocrisy in that? A little bit, if the guy has a high body count himself. Okay. Here's the thing, man. We like sex. Women know this. They use sex to barter, right? They use sex to get what they want. They manipulate men through sex. Women are very sexual, as a mode and a means to get things, right? It's the oldest tradition in the book, right? Men want sex. Women know this more than anybody. But that's not the same thing as wanting love. And women conflate those two things. It's not the same. A guy wants sex, but he also wants love, right? It's up to the person when they want each of those things, and it just like it's up to the woman. The difference is, though, is that most men can't get sex. It's just that simple. Most men cannot get sex. Okay? Most men can't get sex very easily, right? It's just not, it's something you got to work for. It's something that takes time. It's something that you got to improve yourself for because of hypergamy. You got to be the best guy she can get. She's got to feel like you're the bee's knees. You're the top dog. You're the dude who's better than all the other dudes. And and the more men learn this, the more we dislike women in general, because it's like, oh, I got to jump through all these hoops just to, whatever, just to get you on a date or whatever. It's like, once you learn female nature, you're just like, you're turned off. You're like, oh, well, you don't love me when I'm down in the dirt. You don't love me when I'm nothing. So why would you want to love me when I'm the shit? It's there's no loyalty involved in that, right? Which is why, again, I always go back to like, hey, you need to marry at a young age. You need to find somebody in your early 20s, settle down with. Yeah, I know we live in a different age today where people are maturing later and later, and there's various reasons for that, but it doesn't mean that you can go sleep around. It doesn't mean that that's okay for guys or girls, right? But it's funny that, I mean, you're going to do it anyways, right? You're going to sleep around anyways. So they just use these excuses like, oh, guys do it too, or guys want sex, so I don't understand what the big deal is. Well, I mean, I can understand like 3 or 4 guys, right? Okay, you messed around here with this guy, you dated 3 other guys, and you're 25 years old. That's not too bad, right? Your body count's under 5. I would say even under 10 is not terrible, but it's better to be under 5, right? You can still pair bond. You're still pretty fresh and pure. You're still pretty normal. The more guys women sleep with, the more jaded they get, the more deceptive and manipulative they get, the more she becomes an ice queen. She's cold-hearted. The more she'll just dump you and find the next guy at the drop of a hat. She won't fight for the relationship. She'll have mental problems. She'll have emotional problems. This comes with the territory of a high body count, right? Guys need to be better than that. Or excuse me, guys need to do better than that. And on the guy's side, you need to be better than just going around sleeping around with these women. That's not good either, because you're creating that type of woman who's going to be messed up for the next guy, right? But we don't think about that, unfortunately, and men need to think about that. Um, but it's not hard to figure out what guys want. It's not difficult, ladies. It really is not difficult what guys want. We want a decent, attractive woman, good hygiene, dresses okay, takes care of herself. I mean, you're going to do all that anyways, right? Because you know that that's how you get a man. So it's naturally you're doing all that stuff. This is why makeup is $1 billion industry, because women are all into makeup. They're all into. By the way, makeup isn't healthy. It's not good for your hormones. It's not good for your body. Minimal makeup is better. It's just the way that it is, though, that women want to make themselves more attractive. And makeup is kind of a cheat code. Trust me, it is. You date a girl who wears a lot of makeup, and then you wake up next to her in the morning and she looks like a completely different person. Not cool, not fun, not sexy, right? So, guys, here's the thing about guys, ladies. We want the real thing. We want the real deal, right? We don't want to see you fake with all your makeup and all your hair done and all this bullshit. We want to see who you really are. What does that mean? It means you got to look good naturally. How do you do that? You exercise, you take care of yourself, you eat right, you drink a lot of water, you take vitamins and supplements, you figure it out on the natural end. And that's just physical. How do you do the emotional? How do you do the mental? Educate yourself. Learn how to be a better person. Learn how to have a good character, a good conscience. Know the difference between right and wrong, right? These things are important to men. We want to see a woman who's got something on the inside, something deeper than just the physical, right? But we're not that, you know, our standards aren't that high. It's not like you got to be a Rhodes Scholar, you got to have a bachelor or a master's degree. A bachelor's degree is pretty good, but it's not like you got to have a master's degree or, you know, writing books or anything. We're not looking for Einstein. We're just looking for somebody who's got a decent intellect, somebody who's down to earth and doesn't make us stress. It's just that simple. And when it comes to the sex thing, it's like we don't want a woman with a high body count, and a guy shouldn't have a high body count either. It goes both ways, right? So you should look for a guy who's not a man whore yourself. You should look for a guy who hasn't slept around. You should look for a guy who has values. You should both have values. If you're going to be in a marriage or you're going to be in a long-term relationship and have kids, maybe, you need values. You need morals. You need things to pass down to your kids. You can't just be a, total just immoral person, promiscuous person, and then act like you're going to have a family and everything's going to be cool. It's like, how's that going to work? I mean, you're playing this. I've seen women do it, but you're playing this catch-up game. You're playing this game where you gotta like catch up things, with things that you missed. You're playing this deception game where you gotta like lie about your past. And guess what? Kids are intuitive. They're gonna find out one way or another. They're gonna figure out that mommy was a hoe. They're gonna figure out that she was with a bunch of dudes before she met daddy. Because it's gonna come out one way or the other. And kids are perceptive. Kids are intuitive. They're gonna figure out through your body language, through the way that you and daddy treat each other. And for some reason, women are pretty. I think it's this malady in their head where they feel like they can get some kind of counseling through their kids. I've seen this happen where women will like admit stuff to their kids, like, oh, I was with a bunch of guys before I met your dad, and they'll say stuff to their kids, and it's like, that seems innocuous, but it's actually not. It's actually pretty damaging. So it's gonna come out one way or the other. But yeah, man, that's what guys want. It's not hard to please a man, really, and women know this. And this is also fuel that they use to disrespect men. Oh, men's standards are so low. We're just normal. We just want somebody normal. We want a decent looking girl who's nice and cute and can take a joke, and she's fun and she's funny, and that's it. We don't want a stick in the mud. We don't want someone who's jaded and who's got all these hang-ups and who's got all this baggage, emotional and otherwise, and who's got a high body count. I mean, those, like, I see these things online where it's like, what are turnoffs for a man? It's like, you don't know. We make it known to you all the time, and when we make it known, you call us incels, you call us woman haters, you call us misogynists, you as the patriarchy, and all this crap that feminism instills in you. No, we're just telling you what we want. It doesn't make us a misogynist to have standards. You've got all kinds of standards. Your standards are way more bonkers than our standards. All we want is someone down to earth, someone who's cute, someone who's nice, fun, funny, can take a joke. That's it. A somewhat decent intellect, right? Got morals, doesn't have a high body count. That's it. Okay, not overweight, right? Takes good care of herself, eats right. Is that hard to do, ladies? That's so basic. We're not asking you to go out and make six figures. You know how hard that is? We're not asking you to be famous and rich and have a super jacked six-pack body that you can't attain unless you take steroids. We're not asking you to dress like GQ and drive a $100,000 car and this, that, and the third, which is what women want, right? So your standards are way more high than our standards, ladies. And if you were honest with yourself, you'd admit that. And honestly, if you are honest with yourself, that's the best policy. Because the longer you delude yourself and the longer you act like you're oppressed and all this BS from feminism, the longer you do that, the more you're just going to hurt yourself in the long run. The longer you stay in that little bubble of denial, and that little bubble of like, I'm a feminist and I'm oppressed because I'm a female. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You live in the richest. If you live in the West, now if you're listening somewhere else, you might have worse standards. But we still live in the internationally, universally, we live in the best time of human history, period. And you're a woman, and you get everything. You get free dinners, you get free drinks if you want, free sex, free everything. This is why so many women are corrupted today, because it's so easy for them to get anything they want out of men, and men need to do better. But you're not oppressed. There's no such thing as a patriarchy. There never really was. It's a freaking lie. Masculinity is not inherently evil. It's what's protected you and taken care of you since the beginning of time, right? Men love women. We want to treat women right. If you're messing with guys who are toxic and you're messing with guys who are abusive, that's because you're attracted to those type of guys, and you need to figure it out. You need to look in the mirror and say, why am I attracted to those type of guys? Why am I attracted to guys who just hurt me and break my heart? Why am I attracted to players? Why am I attracted to the wrong type of men, right? And figure it out. It's not hard. It's not like there's one. It's not like there's two choices. You got the alpha bad boy player type, and then you got the beta loser soy boy, needy, emotional, sensitive guy that's so unattractive. It's not like those are the two choices, ladies. There's all in between. Guys have multifaceted, multivarious personalities, backgrounds, ways of thinking. You might find a guy who's strong but sensitive. You might find a guy who's this or that. Or men are contrasting. You can't put us in a box, right? So really, it's not hard to figure out what men want. And if you really want to learn and you really want to love a man, just ask men what we want. Don't listen to these liberal soy boy Democrat types, because they're brainwashed just like modern feminists are brainwashed. And I'm not saying you got to go listen to some far right guy or some backwoodsman or whatever traditional dude. Just listen to a normal regular guy. And I'm literally telling you right now what we want. We just want a decent woman. We just want a woman who likes us. We like reciprocity. We like it when women are receptive to us. We like it when women flirt with us. We like it when women allow us to access them. But what women have done I don't know, maybe forever, but what they've done is they've like, you can't access me. I'm this rare gem, and
you can't approach me because I'm too good for all of you, and I'll only let the best guy approach me. And this is why you get these players. This is why you get the dudes who just use you and manipulate you because they're smart enough to do that, and then they're good looking or whatever. They're not gonna. Those aren't the guys who are gonna be loving you. And I'm not saying you can't find someone good looking, but when you make your standards so high that only like this top 1 to 10% of men can get in your circle, you're gonna get that's gonna be that's gonna mess you up because the top 1 to 10%, guess what? All the other women want him. All the other women want him too. So what do you think he's gonna do? You think he's gonna choose you, or you think he's gonna choose 20 of you? He's gonna be messing with all of you. Just go for a regular guy. Go for a guy who might be a little unassuming. Go for a guy who doesn't have that player, who's not dressing like Casanova, who doesn't have all the game. Go for the guy whose texts are boring. Go for the guy who's boring. He's not super good with words. He's not super fun. You want to know why? Because he's going to be like that with every girl. So what does that mean? That means that most girls are going to be like, ugh. So he's not going to be a player. He's not going to cheat on you, right? And here's the thing. Do well by that guy. Do well by that guy. Don't choose that guy when you're 30 after you've had sex with 400 guys. Don't choose that guy when you're 25 after you've had a bunch of gangbangs ran on you in college and done porn and all this other stuff. Choose that guy from the beginning. Choose that guy when he's working his way towards an apprenticeship at a trade school, or he's going to some boring college degree that he's going to have a decent paying job when he gets out. Choose the guy when he's on his way up, not on his way up to be a six-figure playboy, but on his way up to just having a nice job, choose him when he's got nothing, and be loyal to him and love him when he's got nothing. That's what men want. We want real loyalty, not this. Oh yeah, oh you got the good job. Now I'm ready to settle down with you after I went and had my fun. And since you got the job now, it all works out. No, that's a bad deal for him. That's a bad deal for men, right? Oh, we get the leftovers from all the other guys who didn't have to work hard for it, who just had some game and they came at you a certain way and you went to bed with them. I mean, that's sick. That's doing that guy wrong. Because I'll bet you that guy wanted love when he was 19, 20, 21, 22, ready to graduate college, and what did he see? All the girls in college, they were just dating older guys, dating rich guys, sleeping around here, sleeping around there, and then what? And then you're gonna come to him because he's got the steady job and you got pregnant with some other dude's kid, or you're just done with that lifestyle and now you're ready to settle down. That's a bad deal for him. That's not fair to him. That's not fair to him, ladies. This is what your parents should have been telling you. But anyway, so this is what men want. Not super complicated.